Hey, I'm Coach Micheal Burt, the Super Coach, and I want to welcome you to a new podcast I'm doing called The $1 Million Coach. I spent a decade of my life as a women's basketball coach, but I was always fascinated and motivated by the psychology of activating the prey drive in the player, team dynamics, motivation, maximization of talent and potential. I was also always deeply interested in how to get a person to a much higher frequency. Because of that, at 25 years old, and after being a deep disciple of Dr. Stephen Covey's for 8 years, from 18 to 25, I guess 7 years, I wrote my first book called Changing Lives Through Coaching. And that started something in my life that I didn't anticipate. I didn't anticipate becoming a speaker, although I'd done speaking in high school at 15, 16, and 17 as a national officer in an honor society. I didn't anticipate what was going to happen at 25 when I wrote the book. And so I started speaking, and I would go out and speak to people on the book, and eventually people began to ask me, well, could you come speak to this group, or could you come speak to this group, or could you come speak to this group? And really what they said is, they started saying, could you coach our people? And that's really the topic of today's show, because there's so many people in the world that want to be a coach and speaker, and they feel like they got a song to sing and people to sing it to. Here's the cold hard truth, folks, and the show is really built on this premise. This is why I built my $1 Million Coaching Summit. Is part of my give back in life is teaching other coaches one thing: how to monetize their message. There's 700,000 coaches that claim to be coaches in the United States, just in America. The average mean income of those coaches is $47,000. They're not making any money, okay? And I would tell you, we sell about $250,000 of coaching every 30 days, and that is low. That is low. If it weren't during a COVID period or speaking engagements are down, I mean, I believe we can do $10 million in the coaching business. We have contemporaries like a Cardone or a Tony Robbins. Cardone's doing $40 million a year, $4 million a month. So this is a business that could be lucrative for you, but you got to know how to monetize a message. And so I started the $1 Million Coaching Summit, which is September 30th through October 2nd, at my lodge to teach people, how do you build a speaking business? How do you build a coaching business? How do you build an online program? How do you build a course? How do you license your coaching? And how do you certify? How do you do these things at a big level? And, you know, when you're thinking about it, just making some notes here for myself, because how do you go from being a speaker to a coach? So in today's session, I'm going to break down that one concept for you, right? Number one, you got to have a message that resonates with people. And one of the biggest things one of my first coaches taught me is, before you become a known brand, position by concept, right? Like I have concepts. Person of interest is a very powerful concept. Inside the mind of a monster is a very strong concept. Flip the switch is a very strong concept. But what I do is I create a concept that I think, right, will click with people. When in doubt, take an action. Right? I think a good one would be, don't be a little Mitch. That's a great concept. Right? Don't be that person. Now, here's my concept. Once you have the message, you need attention for the message. You need frequency on lots of platforms. One of my number one strategies today is tomorrow night I'm doing a person of interest webinar. We've got 100 plus registrants on there. I'd love to have 10,000. And I do a 1-hour webinar. And on the back end, I offer people a $997 coaching package where they can spend 4 weeks with me mentoring them on how to speak, coach, train, become people of interest, right? I'm going to show you every tactic I use to become a person of interest, right? Like, and part of that is speaking, writing your books, credibility indicators, those type things. You need speaking engagements. You need webinars. You need small groups. You need to get in front of people. Here's the number one thing. You need to feed people into the system. You can't get coaching clients until you have people. And our strategies are producing roughly 3,000 leads every 90 days through the ads and campaigns that we're running to call on and work different leads. So once these people in the system, they need to be connected to explore opportunities. So what we do is I go out to the marketplace and I do webinars and podcasts and speaking engagements, and we feed those to a funnel, and then we go working those. Now, this is a big missing structure. Don't miss this. For lots of speakers, they don't have a sales team. So they generate leads and interest, and nobody calls them. Nobody works them. Nobody follows up with them. Nobody tries to sell them a product or service. This is a big mistake for me for years. I had an assistant, like most speakers. I would go speak. I would sell a few books. Whoop-de-doo. And now I want to take a speaking engagement and turn it into $150,000 on the back end. Right? Like this 2-day event, Tim Story, Sharon Lecter, and I have done the comeback tour. We got a theme, the comeback tour. We got a top financial expert, top comeback coach, top pray drive activator. You come for $299, and then we say, hey, if you want to come spend 2 days with us being coached by us, it's $5,000. Now, we've sold 20 of those. More people have committed, but only 20 have actually given us their credit cards. That produced another $100,000 on the back end. We will continue to sell that product. Let's say we sell 50 of those. That's an additional $250,000, of which we split in thirds. Okay, so each of us make what, Jack? 70-something thousand? Now, here's the point. You can't do any of that if you don't have a message, if you don't get in front of people, and you don't have an offer. And I know this seems complicated. This is something I teach in my $1 Million Mentoring Program, where I mentor you in how to do this, how to create the Zoom, how to get people to the webinar, how to create the graphics, how to drive people to it, how to have a back-end sale, how to get people in at a $997, how to then sell them to a coaching summit, right? Here's the deal, man. You got to know how to do this. So you got to get in front of people because you got to feed the system. You got to have somebody following up with all these people. Like there's thousands of people to follow up with. So what you got to do is you got to take any opportunity you can that you can get practice and get feedback. And by all means, get feedback from people, real people. What can I do better? What do you like about the message? How can we do this? How can we do that? Right? Are your books selling? Do you have a program to sell? So when you think about this, I start looking at how do I take a speaking engagement, which is really a marketing play, Jack, to get in front of other people. That's all it is. Now, you could get paid as a speaker, and I do get paid as a speaker. I do have a fee as a speaker. But what I'm really looking for is I'm looking for people. You don't need more money, you need more people. And then you need doors for those people to walk in. Meaning, a door, I can buy a $99 program, I can buy $997, I can buy $5,000, I can buy $25,000, I can buy $100,000. Right? I can coach you, I can coach your team, I can coach your people. Okay, now we're not going to get into scaling it today, how to scale a coaching company, because Monster Producer is set up where I literally could take on 10,000 people at one time in today's world through technology. So when you think about taking your speaking, I want you to start thinking about taking your speaking and converting it to coaching. And that could be in a one-time product they purchase, an online academy. It could be in a 4-week course. It could be in a 2-day boot camp. It could be in a 4-week Zoom. I want you to think about using speaking to drive your coaching. Now, then you're going to start asking yourself, what kind of coaching do I want to do? I am moving to where I only coach people in environments like boot camps, retreats. I may take on one big corporate client that I really try to drive, but that'd be at a very high rate, like $500,000 or more, and I spend a lot of time with that client. But I like coaching people in groups, whether that be Zoom, whether it be live, whether it be one day, whether it be boot camps. That's what I prefer. Some of you may like one-to-one coaching. Some of you may like small group. Some of you may like big group. And so when you're thinking about these concepts, I want you to start saying, man, I need to be in front of people. Paid, non-paid, don't matter. I need to be doing webinars. I need to be doing Facebook Lives. I need to be doing this. I need to be doing that because I need to get in front of people to feed my pipeline. That's how you take your speaking and turn it into coaching. If you ain't any good at the speaking, you ain't going to get any coaching clients. So today's topic, from speaking to coaching, This has been $1 Million Coach. I love doing this. I want to just give them nuggets, Jack, of things that I know. Nobody ever sat me down and taught me this. I had to learn it the hard way. It took me years to understand. How do I take a speaking engagement to $150,000 on the back end, right? How do I do it? Got to come up with the cool concept. I got to speak. I got to be good. I got to have an offer. I got to have a way for people to take action that day. I got to push them to something in the future. This is the name of the game. Now, if you're interested in me coaching you through these concepts, I have successfully built a multi-million-dollar coaching, speaking, and coaching company. I would tell you I'm probably in the top 0.001% of money earners in the coaching. I'm not telling you that to brag. I'm telling you that as a demonstrated capacity. I have been coaching businesses now for 18 years as a speaker and coach. I have a multi-million-dollar business myself. I am coaching billion-dollar companies. I can show you how to do corporate agreements, which I'll show you at the boot camp. So why would you come to my $1 Million Coaching Summit? September 30th through October 2nd at my lodge in Tennessee. Why would you do it? It's real simple. You want to learn how to speak at a high level, coach at a high level, train at a high level, get corporate contracts at a high level. How do you coach people through a structure? I will teach you everything I've learned the last 18 years playing at the highest levels. And there's always another level to do it. But we've been doing it pretty high for the last 10 years. I'm Coach Micheal Burt. This is another edition of the $1 Million Coach. Hey, I'm Coach Micheal Burt, the Super Coach, and I just finished my workout at F45. That's Functional Fitness 45 minutes. It is the greatest workout on the planet. Because let me tell you what you're going to need today. To tackle the world today, you're going to need three things. You're going to need courage to take action, courage to make bold moves, courage to go the distance. You're going to need commitment. You're going to need to commit to yourself, to see something through to its logical conclusion. You're going to need confidence. And when I leave here every day, I've got all three of those things fighting for me. If you want a real workout, really burn some calories, really do something big, you need to come down to F45 and work out with me. First week on me.